From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. Now, if you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. I got to tell you, just a few weeks ago, we did one of my favorite interviews that I had ever done in almost 6 years of hosting this show. Susan Masino has been a rock journalist for over 30 years, written 6 books, created and hosted the 94.1 JJO Local Stage radio show from 1997 to 2004. She has produced 8 local music compilation CDs. Masino has also appeared in Van Halen DVDs, the early years, and the Let There Be Rock, the movie. Her book, The Story of AC/DC Let There Be Rock, is now published in 11 languages. Most of her life has been interested in the paranormal as well. Susan has culminated into a self-published book, a bunch of stories called The Secrets of the Universe. We're getting into that tonight. Her website, susanmasino.com. You can find all of her books on her website or on Amazon. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, I am going to bring you the SOR Newswire, brought to you by Paranoia Magazine. Susan Masino, I got to tell you, I woke up at 7 o'clock this morning, 7:45 this morning, and it was like, I got Susan Masino on the air. I am so stoked to have you here tonight. Thank you for coming back on so soon.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you for having me. And on the day my book comes out, I mean, what perfect timing is that?
I know.
Beautiful.
We're privileged. We're privileged here.
Aw, no, I'm honored. I am honored to come back on because I had an absolute blast. Like you said, the last time we were on, it did. It felt like 7 minutes. It was really weird.
I know. It went by way, way too fast. And trust me, it is completely our honor to have somebody of your stature, your knowledge, and your fun on this show. For our listeners who may not have caught that episode where we talked about AC/DC and Let There Be Rock, you know, I want them to get to know you a little bit. I read a little bit in the bio there, but let's find out about you. You know, you've had a fantastic life, a fast-moving, fast-paced life. How have you been able to keep your sanity through the life of rock and roll?
Oh, I would say I lost my sanity to rock and roll a long time ago because I love it so much. And I grew up on music in general, actually. My parents owned a ballroom when I was born. And my dad said that was my babysitter, was the jukebox. So I love all kinds of music. But then when I started writing in the late 70s about all these great, incredible bands, you know, everybody, AC/DC, Van Halen, Cheap Trick, Kiss, all of these huge, and ended up 30 years later still huge. It's been just a ride and such a privilege to get to know a lot of my idols. And I'm always fascinated with performers and music because I'm a frustrated drummer. I've always wanted to be a great rock drummer.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I've got 3 guitars. I got 3 guitars in my studio right behind me, and I know one chord. One chord.
No, I can play the blues on the drums if I'm drunk. So, you know, small. Not great, but it's something, right? But, I've just been really, I guess synchronicity has played a lot of a role in my life, and the fact, and however much it's entwined, when I met AC/DC back in 77, I was trying to get in the door of a local paper. I was a girl, duh. So they weren't interested. It took me a while, but it changed my life because I got to meet all these bands. I got to interview, some of the biggest rock stars in the world. Got to know some of them, actually. Some I still remain in contact with. And it's been like a dream for me, like when you think you did the coolest thing and then there's something else that happens. So I am working on a book called Stories to Tell because I have like 1 billion of them. So it's going to be like a couple volumes.
You're like the kid back in the day, back in the days without bike helmets and we built our own jumps that would always take the biggest leap. Pedal your heart out and hit that jump flying over 3 friends laying on the ground. I could totally see you being that person.
Well, it's funny that you said that because I used to have, my bike, and I found a hill back in the woods up in Madison, Wisconsin. And I mean, Evel Knievel, I don't know if I'm related, but it was a total drop off. And if you took it just right, you could go all the way down and hit the ground and keep going. And I did it more than once, but the last time, naturally, I completely crashed, like in a very big way. Didn't break anything. But after that, I was like, yeah, that's not so fun anymore. So, yeah, I am that kid.
Susan, your love of music and your love of the paranormal are 2 of the most important topics in your life. How did you find the love of both?
Wow. I would have to say, okay, the music was always there because even my grandmother, that's why I know Hank Williams so well is because she always played his greatest hits album in her home all the time. But she's the one that told us one night as we were going to bed, we're laying in the dark, and I'm like 5 years old, and, we learned the Lord's Prayer, and we always said that, and then she'd tell us stories. Well, and she was a straight shooter kind of a grandma, so she didn't really, ice this over in any way or sugarcoat it. She told us about the night that her mother appeared to her after she died, that she came into the bedroom and said goodbye to her. And I knew my grandmother would never lie about something like that. So that was it. That was like setting a fire that never went out. Because I was on a quest from that age on to prove, is there life after death? Is that real? And I'm always learning every day something new. So, yeah, I love the paranormal. Because, we're living in have you noticed, are you waiting for Rod Serling to step out and say, because we're in the middle of a Twilight Zone episode about now with everything?
I am waiting for anything, Susan. Anything. You know what? I am so jonesing to get down to Las Vegas and party my ass off that, watching the Canadian border be closed to the United States is driving me mental. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I need that fast-paced rush. I need that loud music. I need that rock and roll. I need that flavor of people around me. And I am stuck around a forest where I can't even find Bigfoot footprints anymore. I'm getting pissed off here, to be absolutely blunt.
Yeah. No, I'm in the middle of, I live outside of Savannah, really in the middle of nowhere. And it's very rural out here. And I'm waiting, beam me up, I go out there on my deck, I'm looking for a ship. I'm like, how come everybody else sees one? I'm ready to go, I've got my bags packed.
Yeah, that's what most of us ET contactees say as well, that.
Yes, and anytime. I'm kind of irritated that I haven't had any contact. Nobody's dropped a note off, not anything, not like some hope. I mean, anybody could show up at this point. I mean, I think Jesus is not having it.
No?
Honestly, if you were Jesus, what would you do?
This is one of those moments where I could literally see our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ having his hand in front of his eyes and grasping his forehead and just shaking his head, saying, "What the hell did I create here?" Honestly, we suck.
No,
we totally suck, but we love each other. We do.
Oh, we do, but he's not, I mean, of course I've got, I do stand up, so I'm thinking, Jesus is totally not showing up, he's already had a meeting about it, it's been talked about, but he's like, look what happened the last time I was there. I mean, come on, you want me to show up now? I don't think so. I mean, if I were him, I don't know.
Oh no, you catch an Uber to another planet, that's what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
You catch that Uber and you go as fast, that Uber rocket ship, and you go as fast as you possibly can. Susan, I want to ask you about the paranormal. When did you have your first paranormal experience?
Oh, well, when I was little, I didn't realize that that's what they were. But as I fell asleep at night, this was when we moved up north in Wisconsin, very, very spiritual area, lots of effigy mounds, the Native American history. And that's when we lived up there is when two things happened. One is when I would fall asleep at night, all of a sudden the door would get like 100 feet tall and the windows would get 100 feet tall, and I'd be up at the ceiling. And it would terrify me totally. And I didn't know I was out of body. I was actually having an out-of-body experience, but I didn't understand it. And then I had people, and I call them people because I didn't see them, but they could talk, apparently. They used to come into my room at night as I was falling asleep and talk to me and tell me things that I apparently was supposed to be paying attention to. And I remember one night I sat up and yelled at them, and I said, to keep it down because my parents would hear it, and then I'd get yelled at. So that was the beginning. But I'm an empath. I do a little remote viewing. I have had many prophetic dreams. And now that we're ascending, have you noticed that it's crazy? It's like I'm driving the other day and I'm listening to a song on the radio and I'm thinking of Cher all of a sudden. Cher pops in my head. And I'm thinking, oh man, she's so cool and, she's so beautiful and all that and everything. And the next song came on with Cher. And I thought,
that's weird when that happens. Totally weird when that happens.
It keeps happening lately. It's really stepping up, I think.
Well, you know what though? It's funny because more people are having those types of synchronicities, and we really, really need to embrace those. We need to embrace that weirdness, that strangeness that is happening around us. Because let's face it, about half an hour before showtime, I was talking to one of my listeners who reached out, and I have a few people that I allow to reach out, and I don't mind helping them or whatever. And one of the things that I explained was, if you're empathic at this time of where we are on the planet with everything that's going on with the pandemic and then the political side of everything, we are getting beat up. The worst thing you can be right now, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, Susan, on this, is an empath. Because all of us empaths, it's like right now, it's like having your hands tied behind your back and allowing Mike Tyson to go 15 rounds with you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it's pure hell. You have described it very well. It is, because I call it the roller coaster of anxiety. Because I get waves of it, like I'll be coming home from the grocery store and burst into tears before I get to the parking lot. And I let it, I give it a good cry, I let it pass, and then I go on with my day. But it's sad because a lot of people are very scared and there's a lot of crazy stuff going on.
How do you deal with it? How are you controlling your own emotions, your own abilities to make sure that you are staying sane through this entire thing?
Well, I don't know if I'd say I'm holding on to my sanity completely. I have days, believe me. I have days. I said one time I was so mad at myself I stopped talking to myself. So, I'm alone a lot. So I have a lot of solitude, and if it kind of feels like solitary confinement, only I can leave. Although I can only go to a store with a mask, and then I have to come back. So it's meditation, it's faith, it's my friends. Oh my God, all my girlfriends. Shout out to Tamara and Dawn and Dawnette and Jennifer, Terry. I have a team of beautiful ladies around me, and I always have someone I can call too, and say, I'm losing it. Tell me, talk me down. So yeah, no, I have those days where it's like I'm hanging off the ceiling, and it's crazy. I mean, I didn't think I'd ever live to see the world in the condition it's in right now. I really didn't.
Nobody did. This is why we're all having such a brutal time with this. I mean, this is not fun right now. And add into the fact, if you're empathic in any way, it's like, I mean, this is a worst case scenario double mint gum, because we're doubling our pleasure and are doubling our misery at the same time.
Oh yeah. It's more challenging, than a lot of other things that we've gone through. There's wars and natural disasters and things like that, but I think the lockdown part of this whole thing is the worst part, because people are used to talking and being social, and we're being pretty much told that we can't do that anymore. And I don't know how that's going to work out. I mean, the virus, we that's got to run its course, of course, no pun intended there, but we have to get through that. I'm not saying, no disrespect to the people that are suffering from it, but it just seems like the way that we're handling it, I don't understand it. I don't understand why, the lockdowns. So, because like you can go shopping at Walmart, but you can't go to other stores because they're closed.
Oh, I hear you.
What?
I hear you.
I don't get it. Some people wear masks, some don't. Some get sick, some don't. Some can work, some can't. It's too much there, Dave. Too many questions.
I hear you. Susan Masino is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We got you for 5 minutes. Let's start going to the paranormal. Let's cheer this place up a little bit, because we want to be able to talk some ghost stories. Do you remember a favorite ghost story that you have that still sticks with you?
Oh, my goodness. I have several. So, like, what kind? Something that I've experienced or something I've heard about, or because there's so many to choose from. I think we talked about this before, though, when I went to the Titanic exhibit in Chicago in 2000, and I saw a full-body apparition in the museum who was there, and then he vanished, like right in front of my eyes. And when you see that, then you're like, oh, wow. I've waited my whole life to see a ghost. When I was a kid, I used to sit up in bed at night and just stare, and think, come on, somebody's got to show up, right? So when I finally did, it was just a remarkable experience, though, because I saw him. He looked like a painting to me. It was, the Titanic exhibit. And at first, my brain made him into a life-size oil painting, which makes sense, right? But when I got close enough to him and looked right up at the painting, he turned and looked at me like I scared him. And when he did that, paintings don't move. So as soon as he moved, I closed my eyes, and I opened my eyes. I was looking in a mirror at myself, and there was no painting there. That was just astounding for me. But I've seen shadow people. I used to live in Madison, and I really call our place Ghost Central, because we had so much activity in that house over the years that we lived there. It was constant. Shadow people, Native American presence there, because I think, we lived on a slope, and my girlfriends teased me all the time about, your house is probably on a burial site. You know that, right? And I'm like, yeah, we did find an arrowhead in the backyard, too. So we used to have, everybody saw apparitions in the house in Madison. And my son, he started recording things while we were in bed at night, and stuff that scared the living hell out of me, because you're sleeping and you have no idea. And we picked up tons of activity in the basement while we were asleep.
Okay.
So, yeah, that'll scare the hell out of you. So stuff like that. Oh yeah, yeah. No, we had all kinds of stuff like that, and then I not so much scary. I mean, I don't like it. Like if something makes me feel scared, I won't allow that, because I don't go out investigating on purpose anymore, because I got totally poisoned at Bobby Mackey's in Kentucky. I went down there, and an entity went through me, and I ended up in the ER 2 days later, and that was not fun. So I have to work at protecting my energy, because I'm in a haunted, Savannah's one of the most haunted cities in the country. So I'm always kind of like, I have to, keep my light around me mentally. I pray. I bring in Archangel Michael, which is a great thing to do if you ever feel scared or threatened or you need strength. I totally believe in that, of the spirit realm, spirit guides. I definitely have guardian angels. I mean, there's been so many things that have happened to me that I should have she should have left then, but somebody was watching out for her. So I've been very lucky that way. I think rock and roll has given me a lot of that. The fans, the music, the bands, the love of the music. That's all, it just gives back more love.
When you have been touring around with bands, and you have toured all around the world, and we got about 45 seconds left, did you ever have any paranormal experiences on the road, backstage, on the stage, at concerts?
I never really toured with any band in their bus. Okay, I got to clarify that, because
no, I understand that, but you have traveled to shows.
Oh yeah, and I'd say the most prominent was the first night that I saw Brian Johnson play with AC/DC. It was very emotional, Back in Black tour, and I had not seen them yet without Bon, and I know Bon was standing right next to me that night. It was so just, goosebumps all over. I cried a little bit, and they always say that, though. He's always on stage when they perform. The whole band talks about that. So that's a pretty cool thing. Bon he may be in a different dimension, but he's not gone.
Rock and roll, it never dies. Susan Masino is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Rock and roll is no noise pollution. Oh, no. Let's just continue to rock. Talk some paranormal. SusanMasino.com is her website. We'll be back with the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio right after this.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know little brother is watching.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
If you like it hot, real hot, then heat up your meals with Bumblefoot hot sauce.
Get your Bumblefoot hot sauce today. The sauce, Bumblicious, and the 4 million Scoville unit Bumble. We're going in hot, real hot, coming out even hotter.
Keep the milk nearby and tantalize your taste buds tonight.
Bumblefoot hot sauce, available now at kajans.com.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month, and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
We're taking Sunday nights out of this world on Spaced Out Radio. This is Michael W. Hall, also known as the Paranormal Lawyer. Together, we're going to go on an exciting journey into the unknown. I'm going to bring you some of the best interviews in the paranormal and supernatural to start your new week off on a freaky note. So tune in to Spaced Out Sundays with me, Michael W. Hall, only on spacedoutradio.com.
Second half hour is underway tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I'm the guy behind the microphone, Dave Scott. Thanks for getting weird with us tonight. Want to remind you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Tonight we are talking with Susan Masino. She's one of my favorite authors. She's a rock and roll chick, and I know she doesn't mind that term. She is one who has literally torn the roof off of AC/DC fans with her great book that's out called Let There Be Rock. She's got a paranormal type book out now, which I got to tell you, I'm interested in reading this. I haven't done it yet, for full disclosure, called The Secrets of the Universe, Universal Laws, Past Lives, Ghost Adventures, and more. Her website, SusanMasino.com. Susan, welcome back.
Thank you.
I got to tell you.
Shout out to everybody in the chat room, and especially the boys and ladies in the bar in Michigan.
Yes, a plethora of people listening to us tonight.
Have a drink
Wonderful.
on me.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, it'll be on Rob tonight, the owner, but that's okay. You know what? I got to tell you before we go on, my voice is killing me tonight. I have taken on a project of doing a bunch of voiceovers for a UFO documentary.
Ooh.
And, well, not so much UFOs, but kind of about UFOs. So the video is shot all in Spanish. Old Davey isn't really up on his Spanish, okay? I'm not up on it at all. You know, if it was French, I'd have a better time because up here everything's bilingual. But when it comes to Spanish, so they're going to dub my voiceover onto the person who is speaking Spanish for the English translation of the documentary. So here I am racing before the show. I did 15 cuts in 45 minutes. 15 cuts. Yeah, that's a lot of talking. A lot of talking.
Yeah, it is. People don't realize that, but no, that's a lot. In 45 minutes, that's great. That's good for you that you could knock it out that fast, really.
I was flying. I played a couple of them back, and I'm like, I hope this isn't too cringeworthy. Because the only benefit about it is I don't have to be on camera. The whole face for radio thing, it's just, it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, Paranormal, Secrets of the Universe, Universal Laws, Past Life, Ghost Adventures, and more. Tell us about this book.
Well, I call it my primer to the paranormal because it's a little book, and I self-published it. It's on Amazon, and it's 7 subjects, and pretty much, most of them are my favorite subjects, but like the last chapter is called Self-Love, and that one, I updated this book too. This first came out in 2013, and I updated it in 2018, and really changed a lot of the end of the book, including the last chapter was completely different. And that one's kind of channeled, but it's a little numerology. You've got some universal laws, ghost adventures, past life stuff. And of course the first chapters on synchronicity. And as we were talking earlier about that off air, about the fact that if you get into the flow of synchronicity, how you notice the same number, over and over again, or you're thinking of something and all of a sudden a truck comes by and it says that on the truck, fun little things like that shows you that you're exactly where you need to be at that moment. And that's really fun. Yeah. So then you kind of let go because, especially if you're late and stuff for something, and then I always laugh because then I'll see stuff like that, like a repeating number or whatever, and it's like, oh, you're okay. Obviously maybe you missed something that you didn't need to be out on the road yet for that, so, you gotta go with the flow. I always told my son, the life is like the waterfalls, and go down the falls. Don't try to swim upstream. It is just really too hard. Makes it very hard.
So with the fact that you have a bunch of ghost adventures on there, we're not talking about the television show. We're talking about adventures you've had with some of the paranormal. What's a ghost that you've had an interaction with that really, really sticks out to you?
That is, I know it sounds crazy, but this is one of the first times, really, that I had a conversation with one. And this is because of my son. We're in Sarasota, Florida, which is one of my favorite places to go on vacation. And there's actually there's a museum and an art gallery and a mansion and all that. And the Ringling Brothers Museum, they started it down there, and that's where the circus, the Flying Wallendas, all these people in the circus, that's where they were based out of. So there's a circus museum. And we went in, and, you know, it's an incredible place. If you ever go to Sarasota, go to the Ringling Museum. It is stunning, to say the least. But so we're in the circus museum, and it's kind of dark and dingy a little bit. It's not very bright, and there's lots of mannequins with outfits on them. And I really felt like we were being watched, for one thing. We were in there alone. It was like a Sunday afternoon. It was myself, my ex-husband, my son, and his friend. And they were around like 10 years old, maybe. And so we're walking through where the high wire is. You know, they actually have the high wire. You go up the ladder, all of that. And as my son is walking through the room, he looks up and he says, "Hey, Mom, there's a guy up there." And I looked up. I didn't see anything. I looked up and I said, "Oh, okay." You know, and I just kind of didn't think anything of it. And we kept walking, and he said, "No, Mom, look now, there's a guy up there." And we got into the next room that had a cutout window where you could see in, and then there was lighting behind it. And I looked up, and I did kind of, you know, see something. It was kind of see-through, but it was kind of like something. I didn't know what it was at first. And I just kind of looked up, and I said, yeah, I think you're right, you know, kind of playing along. And my son, you know, he says, "Yeah, Mom, you see him, right?" And when I started doing that, this person started talking to me, which I think that was the first time I've ever had that happen, where he was very frantic, and he started telling me that it was all his fault, and he kept, like, I felt like he kept trying to repeat what happened to him to change it. It's very sad, and I didn't believe it at first because I kind of like laughed it off, like, you know, my son was like, "You can see him, can't you?" So then I asked him to describe what he looked like, and he looked like that to me in my mind's eye, and he was very upset. He was trying to change something that he caused, an accident. And I had no idea of the history, so I didn't know what he was talking about. But I said, I said to him, we were talking to him out loud, I was anyway, because we're there alone, and I said, you know, I'm sorry to tell you this, but I don't think you can change what you're trying to go back and change. I don't think you can do that. I think you don't have to stay here. You can move on. And then he got really upset, and he said, no, all my friends are here. No. And so we kind of, you know, like, talked to him for a little bit and thanked him for reaching out, I guess, and we joked about it really on the way home about the ghost at the circus museum. I go home and I go online and I find out that there is a Flying Wallenda accident that happened in, I believe, 1960, where a young man that fit the same description that we saw lost his balance and caused an accident that killed 2 people and paralyzed a third. And I truly believe that the young gentleman that lost his balance was the one that was talking to us. So,
what did he say?
Well, he was frantic. He kept saying, "It was all my fault. It was all my fault." Like he just, you know, and he kept going up the ladder and going out on the wire. And I said to him, I don't know why I knew it, but I said, you can't, I'm sorry, you can't change it. You can't go back and change it. And what's really weird is that we said prayers. Even after I got to Wisconsin, I wrote the Wallenda family, and They did not appreciate it at all. His name was Dieter, by the way, Dieter Shep. And his brother-in-law, he died, his brother-in-law died, and one of the Wallenda sons, an adopted son, was paralyzed for life. So I really do feel like we reached out, and I actually did a guided meditation for him from Wisconsin. Someone advised me how to do that. And we went back to Sarasota and went back to the museum a few years later. They'd completely remodeled it. It was super bright and sunny. And the same people were with me, the boys, my husband and the boys, and I felt people around me, but I didn't catch anything. And when you'd be standing there, and all of a sudden you lean over to say something to the person next to you, and there's no one there. That kept happening. And then when we left, I asked the boys, I said, how was it for you guys? Did it seem different? And they said, "Oh, Mama, so many people were thanking us. Didn't you hear? They were thanking us so much." So now the museum is bright and sunny, and I still think the Wallenda family thinks I'm a freak. So
you're a weirdo. You're a definite weirdo. I mean, let's just put it out there on the table. Weirdo Susan Masino is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. What made you write a paranormal book?
I wanted to be on Coast to Coast.
Ouch. Wow.
I did. Well, that was one of my first goals, but I wanted people to know, I guess.
Time out. That one just kicked me right in the ovaries right there.
Well, this is, I did it, 7 years? I wrote it 8 years ago. That was my intention because I was a big fan at the time. And, but I really wanted to, open up some doors to people that might be interested, like the numerology chapter. Numerology is so fascinating to me, and I show people how to do it, on how to figure things out. And the fun part for me was I did Angus, Malcolm, and Bond's charts. And it was, and not shockingly, they all had one of the same number combinations. They all had one of the same in different positions. So that kind of shows you how completely, linked they were. They were, even when because everything is a number, even like the Akashic records, everything's is in numbers. And it's amazing if you get into that. So I wanted people that were interested, or even the universal laws, or mental light therapy on, giving yourself a medicinal meditation that you use colors, and because we're a rainbow, Dave. We're a rainbow. So you have 7 chakras. There's 7 colors of the rainbow. So think about that.
Okay.
Don't you feel like
I'm
a
thinking.
rainbow? I mean, we're a frequency. We're a frequency that refracts into 7 places on the body called chakras, and there's 7 different colors. And I mentally, because I used to suffer from chronic migraines for 14 years without one pain pill, and I can prove that. Because I was so afraid of becoming addicted, I had to teach myself how to go to sleep at night in horrible pain. And if I didn't do my light therapy, I wouldn't have made it through. And that is just the meditation that you see light. You can use light like yellow light when your stomach is upset. Each color correlates to certain organs of the body. And you can learn how to heal doing things like that.
Very true. Very true. So, do you believe in self-healing?
Oh, yeah.
Spirituality?
No, absolutely.
Have you experienced that yourself?
Yes, I did. I've done it a couple times, and now we're going from weirdo to wacko. So, we're going down the list of W's. Weirdo to wacko.
We're on the woo train right now. A plethora of woo coming up right now.
Woohoo. Okay. I came back. I lived in New York City for a while, came back to Wisconsin with horrible sinus infection, sore throat, really bad, not in good shape. And I had asthma. I had developed asthma. And I ended up on the inhalers, And for some people, maybe they like those things, but I hated the inhalers because they make you super shaky, like hyped out to, I hated it. So I spent at least a year, if not longer, every night of falling asleep. I did with using green light for my lungs. I did a meditation. And when I got to the point, like when I felt out of breath and I wanted to use the inhaler, I would sit down, I would calm down, and then I would visualize the, whatever, the thingies in your lungs. Wow, great medical term there. Opening, they would open. I would make them open back up. And over a year's time, and I have, I go through breathing tests every year, I cured myself of asthma. It went away.
No kidding. Just through meditation.
Yeah, it took me at least a year. I'm going to say I was because I was determined that I wasn't going to have inhalers. That was not happening. And even my very cool allergist in Madison, who's now retired, he was one of the best. One day he was looking at me and he stepped back and he said, "How did you get rid of your asthma?" And I looked at him and I said, "You probably wouldn't believe me." But he was intrigued. And then I also I cracked a wrist over New Year's Eve weekend by dancing like Gilda Radner and Steve Martin. I was in a club and I was being twirled around, and he missed me, and I hit the floor with my left hand first. And thankfully, he grabbed me, and I got upright, but I had cracked my wrist. I ended up with a cast for the whole weekend, one of those big old, elbow to wrist hard casts for the New Year's Eve weekend. And I went to the surgeon on Tuesday, and I had told my son that I was going to heal it before I got there, and I wasn't going to need a cast. And we went in, and he cut it off, and I had my son in there because they have literally like 20 colors of casts. And I said, "Can I bring my son in and let him pick out the color?" And he said, "Sure." So we were fooling around, and the doctor cut the cast off, and he was getting ready to, prep it for a new one. He was playing around, and he looked at me, and he says, "Am I hurting you at all?" And I looked at him, and I'm like, "No, why?" And he was playing with my wrist, and he goes, "You don't need a cast." And he kept looking at the X-ray, and he goes, "I'm going to put you in a Velcro thing for 2 weeks. I think that'd do it." I looked over at my son and winked at him, and my son's, it's just his eyes are as big as saucers. And I did that because I'm a typist. I was working. I was writing. I can't be in a cast for 6 weeks. That was not going to happen. So.
Very true. Very true. We've got about 4.5 minutes until we go to break at the top of the hour. Our good friend of this show, Susan Masino, and her brand new book that's out tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Okay, so let's go back to the whole paranormal side. We got the healing part down. You like numbers, though. You love the whole numerology thing.
I do, yes. I do numbers with everything, and numbers are very powerful, and they're actually they're ways to decode things. It's very interesting how. Oh, I'll give you something that'll freak everybody out. Okay,
let's do it
right now. Take your age that you would be this year, even if you haven't had your birthday. Write down your age that you're going to be this year, and add it to the year you were born. And it comes out 2020 for every single person I've tried it on.
Hold on, I'm trying right now. I'm 47, born in 1973. So there's a 10.
You go.
There's a 1, there's a 2, there's a 1, there's a 0. Look at that. It's 2020. Look at that.
I tried
Look
it
at
on
that.
like 8 people already. It works on everybody, and that scares the hell out of me. I'm like, uh-oh. What does that mean?
What are you doing with the mathematics of this world, lady?
I know. I mean, you can't mess with numbers. They are not, they're unmessable, okay? So everybody, it adds up to 2020 for everybody. So what does that tell you? I don't know. What does the audience say? Tell me, please, what that means.
Oh, I'm doing my son right now. He's 7, born in 2013. That's 2020. My daughter, born in 1999. She's 21. That's 2020.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know.
Weird. Weird.
It's terrifying. I mean it. It's terrifying to me because I'm like, I feel like that's the expiration date. Like, 2020, man, this is it. We made it this far, and we're going to the new Earth, which I don't know if that means we're leaving the planet or not. I'm hoping not, but what are we going to do, right? There's so many things that need to be changed. So,
very true.
I don't know. Might have to call in the mothership. And why aren't the crop circles being deciphered? Anybody? Does anybody want to read a crop circle for me? Because that means something. Those symbols have to mean something. Not a couple of crazy farmers in the middle of the night with a board. Some are. I'm not saying all of them, but some of those crop circles, I mean, isn't that kind of like a hey, hello, and why can't you figure it out? I don't know.
Quite possibly. Quite possibly.
Yeah, it's crazy. We've been looking at those for years. There's still nobody that's trying to figure out what the symbols mean. I'm like, I think somebody's trying to tell us something. But that's how I look at it. It's like, there's got to be something there that's trying to communicate. And we're like, nope, we're not having it. So, I don't know. How do you feel about aliens just hanging out? Does it scare you?
You're talking to the right guy here. I'm a good fan of some aliens, okay? I like me some good aliens. If you can't have any aliens in your life is boring. Boring.
Well, the Palladians, come on, they know how to get down, you know what I mean? There's so much we can learn. So, I'm ready. I'm totally ready.
All right. Well, we could let's get into some aliens and paranormal when we come back. How about that? Because we do have to go to break here at the top of the hour. Our guest tonight, Susan Masino. She's got a couple of good books out. Her new edition of AC/DC Let There Be Rock just dropped. She's also got a paranormal book out. The Secrets of the Universe, Universal Laws, Past Lives, Ghost Adventures, and more. You can hang out with that one as well. All of her books can be found at Amazon.com, so make sure you check it on out. SusanMassino.com is her website. More with the lovely and talented Susan coming up on Spaced Out Radio next. I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at Kajans.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment. including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
Are you an experiencer of something strange that can't be explained? Do you want help finding out what's going on? I'm Ryan Stacy, head of the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We've teamed up with Spaced Out Radio to investigate cases filled out in the SOR Sightlines report. We are independent and there's no cost to what we do. All we need is your experience. Let's find out what's happening together on the SOR Sightlines report.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Hi there, this is the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall. I'd like to invite you to listen in each Sunday night where we're going to open up your eyes to everything strange and paranormal. I will be hosting some great guests with topics that affect us all, such as UFOs, ghosts, and everything paranormal. Let's learn together on Spaced Out Radio Sunday with myself, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at mightymoosebeard.com today.
Hey, Space Travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother is watching.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month. And follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for tuning us on in tonight. We welcome back everyone listening in on all of our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Visgerant. Visgerant is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Tonight we are talking with author Susan Masino. She is best known for her book on AC/DC, Let There Be Rock. She's also written about the Williams family, Hank Williams, family tradition, and she has a ghost book out called The Secrets of the Universe, Universal Laws, Past Lives, Ghost Adventures, and more. Her website, SusanMasino.com. You can find all of her books on Amazon. My friend Susan, welcome back.
Thanks, Dave.
No
I'm still
problem.
laughing about the number thing, so I'm like, duh, of course.
We solved the mystery tonight.
Oh, my God. No, that shows
tonight.
you how blonde I am. I swear. It's the funniest things. I write books, but some things I'm like so oblivious, it's not even funny.
That's okay.
My
That's
friends
okay.
like to laugh at me.
So we're going to get into some aliens here. Have you ever had any extraterrestrial encounters?
Yes, I have, actually. This is a first because I've never really talked about it before, and I have not written about it either because I'm not ready yet. But back in the 1980s, I went through a lot of abduction experiences and dreams that lasted for about 2 years. And they were very vivid and very, infuriating in a way because I realized that they were using me, basically. And I wanted to communicate with them, but then after I realized what was going on, then I didn't want to allow that anymore. So I haven't had a lot of it in my life since then, but there was definitely a period of time where there was something very, very strange going on. So, I've been on a spaceship before in a dream.
Oh, tell us a story. This is what we love.
Okay, this is pretty wild because this is when this was happening to me, and I ended up on a ship that a lot of people around me were taller and in robes, kind of. I couldn't see their faces. And everything on the inside was like the color of cedar, the walls and everything, and kind of a gold hue to the place. And I was walking down a hallway, and I opened the door, and this is what I saw. I opened the door, and my daughter was on a table and she was lying in 2 inches of saline solution, and I don't know why I knew this, but they were making her go through all her good memories, and they were recording them, and it was showing like a movie behind her on the wall. So I closed the door, because I didn't mean to interrupt. That's how I felt. So I closed the door, and I kept walking, and I got to another door. And I opened that door up, and my dad was there, and he was on a table, and they were collecting all of his good memories. And I shut the door again, and very respectful, like, oh, didn't know. And I went down into a circular room that was like a sunken living room, is what I'd say it was. And I walked down into it, and I got hit in the leg by like would be like a croquet ball, right in the ankle, which hurt. Yeah, it was like, really cracked me. And I kicked it. I kicked it aside like, well, what is this, right? And I realized that there's something I didn't realize at first. I got down on my hands and knees, and there were all these people that were about a foot tall. They're like the size of like a doll, like a Barbie doll. Only about a foot tall, and they were playing a game, and I had walked into the middle of the game. And when I saw that was what I did, I grabbed the ball, I put it back in the middle, and I said, and I apologized. I said, I am so sorry, oh my God. And then, and the next day I woke up, and I can still see it in my mind. I was in a ship for sure. And my dad and my daughter were there, and they were collecting her memories, or their good memories. And now you hear that, now they've got something that they're talking about, how they can record your thoughts, or they can record your memories and that sort of thing. So, and this was back in the 80s when I dreamed that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was awesome, actually.
Has it happened since?
Well, there was a time period that, I'm just going to say it, but, and I've talked to other women that went through the same thing, but I got pregnant, and I was into my 4th month, and I lost the baby. I miscarried. But when the doctors, they have to do a procedure after that, there was no fetal material whatsoever, even though I was definitely pregnant for almost 4 months. I was into my 4th month. And there was everything. The placenta was there, but there was no fetus. And then I spent 2 years in dreams going to see a baby in an incubator that I couldn't hold. And that's when I realized after I went through that, because it was very traumatic. It was like, we were very excited, and it was horrible how it happened. But when I realized that that's really kind of what I think happened, that's when I got very angry and said, I don't give my permission anymore. I don't want to be part of this anymore. But I've talked to my friends that have had the same thing. They have the same dreams. Not all of them went through actual miscarriages, but I have found stories of women who have. And it's a pretty heavy kind of thing, because most people think you're insane. And I know what I know about what I dreamed, and I know I was definitely pregnant, and then I wasn't. And it didn't make sense. It was very, very rare, is what the doctor said. And he didn't really know what to say about it. He said it's very rare for this to happen.
Wow.
So, yeah, so, and I
usually women who go through the experience of that you just have described have it happen a lot more than just once.
There might have been more than once, but this one was, an actual physical pregnancy in life. I've had more dreams, and I don't know, if I participated more that I don't remember or something, but I know that happened to me. And even, I'll throw in here's a woo-woo moment for you. I was very excited. It was 1986, and my husband and I, this was going to be our first, and we were super excited. And I had a little morning sickness type thing, but nothing too heavy. It really wasn't that rough. And but one day he was at rehearsal. He was a musician, so he was out. It was a Sunday afternoon. I was going to watch a movie on the couch, and I vomited. And I vomited all afternoon, and it was literally like if you take a root beer and shake it up. It was at least a bucket and a half of that. I don't know what it was. I never drank or ate anything like that, but I blew it off. I was like, well, geez, well, you're pregnant, so yeah, you're going to throw up. But 3 days later, that's when I realized that I was having a miscarriage.
Oh, that's terrible.
Child wasn't there anymore.
So you think you have a hybrid child that is somewhere up in space as of right now?
At least one, yes. There might be more, because I know that, they do these things. It runs in families also. My sister has had dreams like that of abduction. And it's, I've never talked about it before except with my friends. I have not written about it. And I guess I wasn't ready to, join the abductee group. Well, I guess I'm part of it now, but I know what I went through, and I know I wasn't. It wasn't made up. It wasn't an imagination or something. It was very real. And I do believe, though, that crossbreeding people with other people, if you will, I think that's just something that goes on in the universe. That's part of the universe. I don't look at it as a bad thing, except that, it is traumatic, though. I mean, it was very traumatic for me because I didn't expect it at all. I had no symptoms beforehand of that I was having any symptoms or this was a rocky pregnancy or anything like that. It was just really quick. And I obviously get out there somewhere. Born in 86. Or, 86.
I wonder if they celebrate the birthdays up there for these hybrid kids. Because that could be pretty lonely. Pretty lonely if you're not getting a birthday up there. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because it's like they obviously can't live here, or do they? Because some people say that, I've seen people that look like aliens. I'm not kidding. There's some pictures of people on the internet, and you're like, oh, that's not right. That's, so there could be, they say that. Some people believe that hybrids live among us and we don't even realize it. So that's also, very interesting.
I have a question from Teresa in our chat room on YouTube, who is asking, have you had any Bon Scott messages come through lately or any feelings of him being around you?
That's a great question. Thank you so much for asking. I have had a very close connection with Bon, which started way back after he died. And I found out this is called a soul retrieval. And my friend, give her a shout out, Tamara Springer-Gleason, she's a psychic medium, hypnotherapist, friend of mine. And she explained to me that I had done a soul retrieval for Bon. And I'm like, what is that? I don't know. I didn't even know what it was. But back in I'd say he'd been gone for a good while. It was probably the late 80s. I had this dream. And I was at the place that he died, at the building where he died outside, and I went to a basement apartment that had no lights and no windows or anything. And Bon was there. And I was freaked out. I grabbed him. I said, why are you here? And I pulled him out. I said, this is not where you belong at all. And we went up the steps, and that was the end of the dream. And so Bon has come back to me many times, in so many funny ways. Oh my God, does he haunts me when I'm doing something. If I'm like working on the book and stuff, he's everywhere. He makes his presence known all the time. But one of the coolest things he did, two things. One night he came and told me, after many years of not seeing him, that I was going to write this book before I knew that I was going to get a deal to write the book, Let There Be Rock. He came to talk to me about it. And then the next dream was during the writing of the book, which he haunted me ridiculously while I was writing it. And one night I had a full-blown, because I've learned how to process books more now. Back then in 2004, I'd never written a major biography for anyone. So I had written a couple of smaller books, but I was so overwhelmed. I was always thinking of all the years at once. Like I was having trouble focusing on, like, okay, stay in the 70s and then, make your way up to the 80s kind of thing. And I had a full-blown panic attack. I mean, we're talking hyperventilating, head between your knees. I'm going to die. My husband's asleep, my son's asleep. I don't want to freak anybody out. So I go to bed that night and I just plead to Bon. I'm like, Bon, I need help. I need help. You got to give me some help here. I'm scared to death. I had a deadline. I was working for a major publisher. This is a big deal. On top of the fact that it was AC/DC, for God's sake, everybody knows everything about them. And he came to me that night in a very vivid dream, and he was dancing around laughing at me, and he was saying, it's going to be fine, Susie. It's going to be fine. He said, the money will come. The book will be great. Don't worry about it. And then we were sitting and talking, and he said to me, when I get to be your age, and I said, wait a minute, you're older than me. And he laughed, and he goes, no, I'm not. I'm still 33. And we just had a good laugh, and I haven't had a full-blown panic attack since.
That is awesome. Thank
you for
sharing.
He helps me a lot. Yeah,
almost
he
like,
helps me
almost
a lot.
Almost like a guardian angel with bagpipes.
Oh, he's everywhere. I swear. He makes his presence known all the time because he loves it. I'm so proud of him because look how big he is now compared to when he passed. Now he's huge to the whole world, and I know he's loving it.
He was a character larger than life, that's for sure. Nicole is, we're going to transfer back into where you were talking about your ET abduction and potential hybridization. Nicole is asking, were there any crystals anywhere in these rooms that you were in when you were on craft?
That's a good question, and I don't remember seeing them, but when I looked into the rooms where they were doing, the memory collection, if you will, I don't know why I knew that they were laying in saline solution to help, extract their memories, if you will, but I don't remember seeing any crystals. But I didn't look very long because I felt like I was interrupting, so I shut the door really quick. But I wish I had. That would have been cool.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Minister Elaine is asking what your blood type is because she's learning a lot about blood types recently.
Well, you're going to love this. Only 1% of the people on the planet, in the U.S., have my blood type. I am an AB negative. So, which means I don't have the Rhesus monkey gene in my DNA. Uh-oh. Are you RH negative?
No, I'm O positive.
Oh, well, see, that's still good. But, yeah, RH negative means you don't have the RH factor in your blood.
Yes.
So, I came from the stars. I did not come from the apes. So.
Right. I'm not... Me personally, I've studied the whole blood concept, all right, that abductees have a certain blood type. I'm not buying into that. It's one that I don't believe. I think they don't do a blood test before they send you on your way, whether or not you're cruising through space or not. Don't believe that.
Well, true, but I have heard that I've met a lot of Rh negative people that are psychic, and it's crazy because something like over a third of the presidents, even more, have the Rh negative blood type. So it is an interesting feature that I'd love to know more about.
Shanna is asking whether or not you've ever gone through hypnosis or regression therapy to learn about these contact symptoms you've had.
I have had some, mostly targeted. The stuff that I've had work done on is more blocks that I've had from this lifetime. But I would love to do a regression and go back and see, because the memories actually are so clear to this day that I think it would be easy for me, if I did do that, to kind of go back and see what else I see. But it's fascinating because you hear about it every day, that people are being abducted, and unfortunately some people don't get to come back, and that's the part I don't like. But we're dealing with different types of aliens. They're not just one. So
very true.
There's like supposedly there's like 3 types of the Greys.
Oh, there's way more. Way more.
Is there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You got that. You got the reptilians. Thank God for the Arcturians and the Palladians. But, they're supposed to be, like Men in Black, the movie, is supposed to be based on a true story.
Well, I haven't heard that one, but I can tell you this. There's a lot of strangeness and coincidence around the movie Men in Black, and a lot of the legends that kind of come out with that. The problem with Hollywood is they screw up everything when it comes to aliens. They screw it all up.
Oh, they make them all spider-like eating monsters. Really? They all look the same to me. There's tons of different aliens. Why do they keep using one that always looks like a spider that's going to eat you? I don't get it.
Well, this is a question for our Keith Andrews tomorrow night on the show. So we're going to have to hit up our Keith on that. So who knows? Who knows? If anybody will know, our resident ET expert will know. And, you want to get on the woo train, you come listen to our Keith speak. Oh, yeah, it's good. Real good. We got less than a minute to go here before we go to break at the bottom of the hour. Susan Masino is our guest tonight. When's the last time you saw a UFO?
Actually, about 6-7 years ago, coming back from up north with my friends Tamara and Dawnette. It was a gigantic rectangle that glowed like pink light, and we saw it from really far away, and it was descending over the town that we were driving into. And what was really weird is that we drove to the other side of town to see if we could see it, and as soon as we got over there, all 3 of us was like, God, I'm tired. Let's go back to the house. And we just kind of, whatever. Like, all of a sudden, we weren't interested. We turned around, we went back, and a couple weeks later, someone caught a great picture of it going over the airport in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Oh, goodness. Well, let's get more into that. Let's get more into that when we come back from break here, because we do have to step out for just a couple of minutes. SusanMassino.com is our guest's website. You can find her books there, as well as on Amazon. We're freestyling it tonight with Susan Masino on Spaced Out Radio.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
We're taking Sunday nights out of this world on Spaced Out Radio. This is Michael W. Hall, also known as the Paranormal Lawyer. Together, we're going to go on an exciting journey into the unknown. I'm going to bring you some of the best interviews in the paranormal and supernatural to start your new week off on a freaky note. So tune in to Spaced Out Sundays with me, Michael W. Hall, only on spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
We pass the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, hanging out with all of you at SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for tuning us in. I want to remind you that if you missed portions of this show or others, you can check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show and on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Susan Masino is our guest tonight. Her books can all be found on Amazon. We're kind of just running the gamut here on the show. Whenever paranormal works, she's a lot of fun. She's got a great book out on AC/DC, a great book out called The Secrets of the Universe. Her website, SusanMasino.com, and I love chatting with her. Brilliant, brilliant lady, brilliant writer. Welcome back.
Oh, thank you, Dave. I'm blushing.
Oh, me too. Me too. I have a question for you, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Yeah, now I lost it. Oh, yeah. Stunt Brat is asking if you've ever heard of that weird disease called Morgellons. And what's your thoughts on it?
I have, yes. Yes, that is supposed to be alien. That's just wrong. That disease is just wrong. So, no, it's got to be from the aliens. It doesn't make any sense to me.
All right, so for people who may not know, it's when these weird, almost like fiber optic type fibers start coming out of your skin. And your skin is always itchy. A lot of people who have it have to wear cooking mitts or gloves on their hands, winter gloves on their hands, so they don't scratch their skin off.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, that's so wrong. And look at all the creatures that people see. You can't tell me that all of them are coming from planet Earth. You know, there's some crazy stuff going on out there, especially up in Canada.
Hey, what's wrong with Canada? What's wrong with Canada?
You guys have everything. You have the Sasquatches, you know, you've got all the best comedians up there. I mean, I love Canada. It's a great country, and but you know, you've got a lot of history too. You know, I think the UFOs have been up there as well.
We've had one or two.
And yeah, you know, so but yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, it's happening almost every day now. It seems like everybody has a picture of something that just appeared in the sky recently. So, you know, we don't hear a lot about it.
Actually, there was a stat that recently came out in the media that UFO sightings are up by 50% in the United States because with the COVID pandemic and people staying home more and not going out, they're going outside to enjoy a nice summer evening, and they're staring up at the stars, and they're seeing weird lights. Now, is it always aliens? No, I'm sure the International Space Station gets a little bit of publicity in there. I think that satellites and drones do as well, but I'm sure there's been a few aliens spotted. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah. No, there's some weird things. You know, what we saw, we actually have a picture of it, and I remember you just triggered a memory here of seeing something crazy while I was outside watching the stars one night. Is that something like a star? It looked like stars. You're looking at stars. Right. There was a white laser beam that shot out of one of them like a couple of times, and I was with a friend and we both saw it, and it was like insane. Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it was definitely like it was up there. It was a long ways away. And something shot out this beam of light twice. I saw it twice. So.
Was it shooting towards the ground or in the sky?
Towards something in the sky, yeah. Yeah, like toward another star is what we could only see because we didn't have a telescope or anything. But it was very visible, though, you know. he saw it first, and then he's like, keep your eye on right there. Don't look away. And then sure enough, I saw 2 more.
That is
so
awesome.
That was kind of cool. Yeah.
Look at you with the aliens.
I love that stuff. Well, down here,
yeah, go ahead.
they have a commercial. They have a commercial down here for Butterfinger Candy Bar.
Right. And
there's 2 kids getting in their car, and there's 2 aliens across the road with a UFO, and they throw them some candy bars, and the UFO guys wave goodbye and take off. Now, they're trying to tell us something, don't you think?
2 plus 2 is not equaling 4 here for me right now. Help me out.
I know. Yeah.
We don't get them fun American commercials up here. You wouldn't. You have no idea the pain of the Canadian commercial break. It's horrible.
That's too bad. Yeah, I don't usually watch them myself, though. They're not my favorite part of the programming.
No, I get you.
Yeah.
But you never want to get stuck on a Super Bowl Sunday watching the Canadian commercials in between that have about as much spice and zip in them as pavement.
Oh, that's too bad. I'm not a big football fan, but the commercials are the best for the Super Bowl. They really come out of left field with some crazy stuff.
It's the way it should be.
So,
it's the way it should be.
I know.
Susan,
exactly.
I want to ask you, do you think you're a beacon of the paranormal?
Oh, yeah. Pretty much. I'm actually working on a subject I'm going to be talking about tomorrow night, Freddie Mercury and Queen. And now the whole week, every time I get in the car and I turn the radio on, Freddie's singing. So I'm kind of being haunted right now. I tend to be haunted by who I work on. And like Hank Williams, when I worked on the Hank Williams book, that he materialized twice to me.
No
and
way.
I have witnesses. No, I do. I have witnesses. When I was working on the Hank Williams book, and of course, I worked on senior, then junior, then 3, the grandson. While I was working on the beginning of the book of Hank, of course, and I grew up in love with him. I loved his music. My grandmother, played him all the time. And I was literally out by Mount Shasta with my daughter visiting on vacation. I was sitting, there's a place where you can walk down into this gully type where there's a waterfall. You walk underneath and you come around and you go up to a lookout. You look out, and then that's it. Then you go back up to your car, whatever. So I'm sitting on a rock. She's exploring, and I'm enjoying the day, except I have this you should be home working on the Hank book, this guilt, tugging at my head. And then, I know, when I get home, I will. Swear to God, some guy, jeans, nice shirt, boots, and a tan off-white cowboy hat, comes walking down the stairs. He goes all the way around the waterfall. He walks by us. He goes up to the lookout. I'm looking at her. I'm looking at him. I'm thinking, you've got to be kidding me. I've never seen anybody up there that wears a cowboy hat, for one thing. And so he just, made his appearance, and then he was gone. And I'm like, thanks, Hank. I really appreciate it. And then I'm home in Madison, Wisconsin, working on the book. Yet I have friends over, and we're going to go get Chinese. We're in a restaurant waiting for our food. A police officer walks in, and he was a spitting image of Hank Williams. To the point of that I backed away from him, and I grabbed my friends, and I said, look at that guy and remember what he looks like, okay? And they're like, okay, what the hell? I got home, grabbed one of the books I was researching, picked it up, and turned it around, and all 3 of my girlfriends went, oh, my God. And I said, yeah, he was in the Chinese restaurant, wasn't he? So he used to bug me if I wasn't working. He would bug me. And he was very, he was happy. He wanted to make sure certain things were in the book. But boy, he haunted me. Like if I wasn't working, look out. Look out. It was crazy. So now Freddie Mercury's doing it.
I'm going to ask you, you've been around a lot of rock stars for the last few decades. How come we don't see more of them coming out about their paranormal experiences or UFO experiences? I mean, we've had a few. Sammy Hagar. You know,
right.
Robbie Williams has come out about his UFO experiences. There was a lot of bands who have written about it. All right. But you never hear of rock stars or musicians in general coming out as, oh, by the way, I'm psychic. Or, by the way, you know, I lived in a haunted house growing up and it terrorized me, so I stayed up all night or whatever. Or playing a lot of haunted venues. That's the word I'm looking for. Venues.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, like... getting, you know, on that same kind of subject, the band, the Allman Brothers, and Leonard Skinner. Now, both those bands suffered horrible tragedies, and they both used to sit in the cemetery in Macon, Georgia, and write songs at night. And they even wrote, like, the Allman Brothers wrote several songs about people that were actually in the cemetery. So, I know a lot of artists, or even like Brian Johnson said that Bon Scott visited him in the Bahamas while they recorded Back in Black. He won't give details, but he said that he was there, which doesn't surprise me at all. You know, because Bon's going to make sure the album gets done right. He wouldn't have walked away from that, I don't think, but... there's more, you know, like Led Zeppelin, you know, Jimmy Page, he bought Aleister Crowley's house.
Yes.
Yeah, he got into I think the dark side a lot. And, of course they don't like to talk about that, but, you know, it's funny, people tried to tie, AC/DC in with, you know, black magic when the Night Stalker, you know, was arrested in California. And the only thing I could ever find on the band that they said was, you know, any type of darkness was that they would watch the Addams Family on the road, and that once in a while they wear black underwear. So,
but I mean, you look at the 27 Club, you look at the Crossroads, you look at somebody like Ronnie Van Zant, who used to tell his dad and his mom and his bandmates, I'm not going to be around by my 30th birthday. He had premonitions of dying before then, and there he was. We hear all of these types of stories. There's a lot of depression, suicide in music, which is horrific because we've lost so many talented people because of that. Which it can also be, you know, included into drugs and alcohol as well, because it's a party scene. You know, you always have to be on, and when you're that famous, there is really no time to relax, because if there's no show, you got to play the role. You got to be at the bar. You got to be at the club. You got to be scouting other bands, watching other bands, writing music. I mean, it's a difficult 24/7 job. You know, yet there's the stories out there of people predicting their own deaths and having it happen, you know, and I bring up, you know, Leonard Skinner for that. I mean, it was almost like Ronnie Van Zant knew that was going to be the outcome right when they were hitting it big.
Oh, yeah. And look at the album cover that was supposedly it came out. And the plane crashed, and they pulled it and changed the album cover. There's an album cover of them standing behind, you know, like something in flames, and some of them are even partially engulfed in flames in the picture. That's really creepy. So they had to pull that. They changed the cover.
Do a lot of the musicians keep quiet on it because they don't want the public ridicule, or because their lives are already so infected with social media, with all sorts of stories and cameras everywhere, that they just want something that's private on their own?
Oh, I think so. Like you said, like Sammy Hagar has been very open. Dan Aykroyd, certain people like that are totally into it. John Fogerty, from Creedence Clearwater Revival, he's really into that and very vocal about it. But there's a stigma, there is. I mean, that's why I've never talked about any alien abduction, because, you get into a club where people, they blow you off. Oh, yeah, she thinks she was on a UFO. I'm not going to listen to her. So there's still a stigma about it.
Is that right or wrong?
I think it's wrong, because people are waking up more and more. More and more people are having, if you want to call them psychic experiences, or, it's just, there's so many weird things going on right now. There's a show down here called Paranormal Caught on Camera, and yes, I've seen stuff that's like, oh my God, what's going on? I mean, it's kind of a party and a circus at the same time. It really is. It's like, I don't know what's real anymore. I don't know what dimension I'm in or which one I'm supposed to be in. I don't know what's going on. I would like somebody to give me a call and say, okay, look, I'm going to explain this to you.
Okay, but
otherwise,
but rock and roll artists are supposed to be freewheeling. They're supposed to be, the rebel gunslingers, or the guitar slingers in this case. Mm-hmm. They're supposed to be badass. They're supposed to be people who live on the edge and don't want to play by the rules. And that's what comes out in their music. And yet, behind the scenes, their lives many are controlled by publicists. Many are controlled by the clan that they hang out with behind the scenes, because let's face it, not all band members get along. They just play some really good music together. Look at Joe Perry and Steven Tyler. Right. I mean, they're just magical. Do they care for each other? Well, they may, but they're not good friends. That's very public. And
right.
You look
exactly.
Like I look at when Nikki Sixx overdosed. Mm-hmm. And he admits that he was dead for 3 minutes. Never heard him ever talk about whether or not he had a near-death experience. I've never heard anybody ask him.
It is weird, but I saw the movie The Dirt, which I thought was, I enjoy movies like that. But thinking, if he was gone for 3 minutes and he was so whacked out on heroin, I don't think he'd probably remember it. I mean,
I don't know.
But like, let's say Holly and Hillary Williams, Hank Jr.'s daughters, were in a horrible car accident several years ago, and Hillary was driving. She died twice on the operating table, and she writes in her book about her she saw Hank and Audrey and Johnny Cash and June Carter, who were very close to her family, and they told her, that she was going back. It wasn't her time to stay, but she was very vocal about seeing them.
Right.
So some do.
I know, but music is about, maybe not today's music, okay? But yesterday's music, it was about telling stories. It was about creating an experience. It was about, telling things that were not only wrong with the world, but right with it as well, and the strange things that happen in between. I first noticed this because I'm born in the 70s, early 70s, and, grew up in the 80s where, I think of the Lost Boys soundtrack, where you have the INXS song, People Are Strange.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we see all of these little nuances that really represent what the weird and the paranormal are all about in music, but nobody ever admits that they're doing anything.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they don't. That is true. There aren't that many people that talk about it, you know. But you do hear people afterwards of after their deaths being haunted. I saw, oh my God, the craziest picture. People go to Jim Morrison's grave, you know, in Paris all the time. And someone actually got a picture of the grave one time, and you can see Jim Morrison standing there with his arms out, and it's a perfect outline of him. And it's just so like, wow, you know, but yeah, he gets a lot of visitors, so why wouldn't he pop in now and then?
You mentioned with Bon Scott that you believe that he has attended every AC/DC show. You've talked to Angus Young. You've talked to Malcolm when he was still alive. You talked to the other band members. Have they ever seen Bon Scott on stage since he's been deceased?
I can't say that they've seen him, but they've all admitted to feeling him on stage. They always talk about it. It's funny, all these years that we've known each other, and we will go years in between without even talking when they're, you know, on hiatus, and then they come out with a new tour and a new album. They always talk about Bon. They miss him all the time. And Angus always says that. He's like, no, he's on stage with us. And I think he is, too. I feel.
How does Brian Johnson react to that when they say that? I mean, it's 40-plus years since his death.
Oh, that's what makes Brian so special, is that now that I've known both of them, and Brian, I didn't believe that they picked the right guy. I'm thinking, who is this, and what are they doing, and oh my God, and Brian is so much like Bon in the way of being very humble, very down to earth, and always cracking jokes. He's so funny. So Brian loves Bon. It truly, like, from his heart loves Bon, and he exuded that the day he walked out on stage with the band, and that it's never ended. I mean, that's why the fans love Brian, because Brian has always honored Bon. And Angus says sometimes, you know, when they get ready to go tour, a lot of times it would be Brian that would bring up an old Bon song and say, hey, let's throw this in the set list. I'd love to do this one. So he revels in it.
Well, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a cool guy. Brian Johnson is an awesome guy. Very funny. Should be a comedian, but you wouldn't understand him because his accent is so crazy.
True that. You know,
yeah.
I'm still a fan of Axl Rose filling in. That's me.
Though. Oh, yeah. Oh, I saw it. I was impressed. He did a good job. He really did.
Of course he did. He's the greatest frontman ever next to Freddie Mercury. Let's talk a little Freddie Mercury when we come back from the break. What do you say?
Sounds good.
I'm good for that. I'm good for that if you are.
I'm down with it.
Me too. Susan, you get to sit around and hold on for just a few more seconds here, well, a few more minutes, because we are going to go to break at the top of the hour here on Spaced Out Radio. 2 hours down, 1 hour to go. Another half an hour with our guest tonight, Susan Masino, talking everything weird, strange, paranormal, including what's going on in the weird world of the music industry. Oh, yeah. Let's talk a little Freddie Mercury next on Spaced Out Radio.
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget. From commercial spots to banners to special promotions, there are many opportunities to get your name and product out to our SOR listeners. For a price guide and more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire. where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today. We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hello everyone, this is Ryan Stacy from the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We're glad to team up with Spaced Out Radio to help investigate your experiences on the SOR Sightlines Report. Together, we'll investigate the strange sightings and occurrences you've had. We're looking for answers just like you. So fill out a Sightlines Report on the Spaced Out Radio website and let's figure out what's going on together.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Hey, Space Travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do? What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at kajans.com.
Hi there, this is the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall. I'd like to invite you to listen in each Sunday night where we're going to open up your eyes to everything strange and paranormal. I will be hosting some great guests with topics that affect us all, such as UFOs, ghosts, and everything paranormal. Let's learn together on Spaced Out Radio Sunday with myself, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Here we go with the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I'm Dave Scott, hanging out with all of you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. We welcome back everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. All of our archives are free for you at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Vicegerent. Vicegerent is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show and on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. For the final time tonight, we introduce our guest, Susan Masino. SusanMasino.com is her website. You can find all of her books on her website or Amazon. And I'll tell you, we're dealing with a great book and talking a lot of paranormal tonight, as she has a book you can pick up called The Secrets of the Universe, Universal Laws, Past Lives, and Ghost Adventures, and more. Yes, we've pretty much hit it all. And you're starting to look into Freddie Mercury, the famed, hallowed singer of Queen. And by the way, I cannot stand their new singer filling in. Can't stand him. Horrible. Horrible, in my opinion. Adam Lambert, extreme talent, extremely good talent. Nothing to do with his talent. You know what I can't stand is when you get these fill-in singers or guitarists, and they play their own riffs and sing the songs their own way, rather than the way that you want to hear it and the way it's been, honored and sung previously.
No, it's hard. Well, who can replace Freddie Mercury? Nobody.
Well, I realize that. I realize that, okay? But I you know what? I've always been a Queen fan, all right? And the one thing I loved about the excitement is I think Adam Lambert has that same flair and flamboyance as Freddie did, okay? But today's singers want to over-sing everything.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I totally understand.
And when I hear him singing like Fat Bottom Girls or Tie Your Mother Down or Bohemian Rhapsody or We Are the Champions, he's over-singing everything. Stop. Just sing the damn song the way it's supposed to be sang.
Yeah. No, it is different, and it's not the same. It isn't. And he was, such an incredible character in himself. I did, speaking of paranormal stories, I was looking into the fact that he did a lot of haunting of the actor that played him in the movie Bohemian Rhapsody.
Right.
So he was came into his dreams. He was there. He felt like especially when he was singing and performing on stage during the filming, that Freddie was like right with him. So that's kind of cool.
So what makes doing a story and a book and the research on somebody like Freddie Mercury so special?
I think it's really the talent. You know, I've always been in awe of talent, of musical talent especially, and I never get tired of learning about people. You know, what made them so great. You know, what, like, oh my gosh, I mean, like the Hank Williams, you know, the heartache that he put up with, and the physical pain that he endured until he died. Even with Prince, you know, he was in pain before he passed. And they're so brilliant and they're so amazing, and that I just never get tired of being fascinated by that.
Okay, so with Freddie Mercury, who even the great ones of today say is probably the greatest frontman ever in rock and roll history. Mm-hmm. When you look at somebody that powerful, that could command an audience the way he could control an audience and get them right into it for every song. I mean, that is power that most people do not have and will not have, whether they are playing on a baseball diamond, singing on a stage, standing or running for political office, or whatever it may be. I mean, to have that type of commanding presence is very rare, and it's getting rarer each day.
Oh, I know. You don't see performers like we did, you know, coming out like in the 70s and 80s, and so much is so cookie cutter now with just everything, the videos, the production. But Freddie, I mean, he had a four octave range. He was an incredible writer. And aside from being an astounding performer, but he wrote in all these different genres. You know, he wrote rock, he wrote opera, he wrote disco. He was never, you know, he could do anything. I mean, so many people have talked about, you know, his control on stage and how, you know, he could go from one register to another with like no effort. And watching him on stage, it's a celebration to watch him, because he's, especially the what is it, Live AIDS thing in 1985, I think, or 86.
Oh, that was incredible.
Know?
I still go and watch that on YouTube. You have to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's still, you can still get the hair standing up on your arms, you know. And one of the band members, I believe is Roger Taylor, said this about him. He said that Freddie had the ability to reach the last person in the stadium farthest away from the stage. He could still bring that person in, like, this is for you. And that's what he said was so magical about Freddie.
Right. Now, was Freddie a very spiritual person in your research?
I haven't found anything yet, but I'm not done. I think he was a very private, you know, I think he was spiritual just by the way that he handled his life. You know, he was very kind to people, very, very private type of person, and didn't, you know, I mean, he was really flamboyant on stage, but he wasn't like that in real life at all. You know, he did have his years of partying. Don't get me wrong. He was out there, you know, doing the crazy stuff. But then he really settled down for like the last, you know, 20 years of his life. He was quite the homebody.
That's very true. That's very true. So when you were looking into people like Freddie Mercury or Bon Scott or Brian Johnson or Hank Williams or whatever it may be, whatever the subject may be, you, considering you are an intuitive writer, does that person come to you to kind of give you some insight of what you should be looking for?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I get information in my dreams. I get, you know, all kinds of little signs or signals, or, you know, Bon, you know, as I said, when I was working on the original version of Let There Be Rock, it was a terrifying experience for me. And I would be, you know, I'd get up the next day and I'm making the bed, and Bon says to me, because in the early days, they had a lot of different band members, and that was really challenging for me to make sure that they were all in the right order, if you will. And one gentleman, his name was spelled two ways, with a C or a K, and I wasn't sure at the time. This was 2004, so there wasn't as much out there today as there is on the band. And I had spelled it K, and I was making the bed the next day, and I could hear Bond say, he spells it with a C. Spells it with C, you got to change it. And I'm like, oh, okay. Just little stuff like that. So they do haunt me because they know, they get a kick out of being written about. Unless you're writing something awful, then I wouldn't want to think about what they could do. It's like Bon Scott just blew up my computer tonight. It's out. I know. You don't know, really. So it's very, it takes over a lot of me. That's why I haven't written one. I updated this one, but I haven't written one for a while. I wrote the FAQ book, and that came out in 2015. That's kind of a dictionary-type book. But writing about someone else's life, I absorb so much of it that it takes a lot out of me. I had a lot of health problems when I was writing Family Tradition because I absorbed a lot of it, especially when I met Hank 3. Hank 3, I expected to be living in a mansion with a swimming pool, a lot of money, and that's not at all his life. And he didn't even grow up like that. And he told me in 2 days we did 9 hours of recorded conversation. Not only did he break my heart, but it took me 2 months after I got home to listen to it again because it was that sad. And I had to write about it. So I tend to, it takes a little bit of me. A little bit of me is in every book for sure.
Susan Masino is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Susan, as we look towards the paranormal side of everything and the synchronicities that seem to run rampant through, the music industry, the paranormal industry, there always seems to be something going on. When you were writing a book about these type of topics or these people, okay, what kind of synchronistic events happen? You mentioned earlier that, you're thinking about doing something on Freddie Mercury. Next thing you know, the next song on satellite radio is a Queen song. What else was happening here when you were doing your studying for a new book?
Oh, lots of stuff, just like, things will come up on the radio, or I'll be on the computer and some article will pop up that I hadn't seen before. When I was writing, I have to say, when I was writing Let There Be Rock the first time, and it came out in 2006, I had an incredible network of fans that found out I was writing about the band, and they sent me things. There was a gentleman in England, a shout-out to Andrew. He would send me articles that I couldn't get, or I'd have to go to, Barnes & Noble to find. And it got to the point where, they did a classic rock edition with Bon on the cover. It was a big AC/DC thing. And I thought to myself, I really got to get a copy of that. I'll wait. About a week later, shows up in the mail with a note. I knew you would be looking for this. I had tons of that happen to me. It was like everybody in the world wanted to help me. So it was really, really beautiful.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Now, does that also, when you have those synchronicities, does that also follow the numerology side of everything too, where you start seeing numbers adding things up?
Oh yeah, no. In the FAQ book, I wrote I got trashed for part of this book because they kept asking for more. So I threw in how many times the number 17 comes up in AC/DC's history, which is hilarious how many times it repeats itself. There's all kinds of weird things like that, especially between me and the band. When I was a kid, I was living outside of Madison, and I literally found a boomerang a real one, a wooden one with a metal edge that came back every time I threw it. And then we moved to another town, and I lost it in the cornfield. Well, years later, I'm writing the book, and I find out that exact summer that I found that boomerang was when Angus and Malcolm emigrated to Australia from Scotland. So if you look at my life, there's tons of little things. Or like the first celebrity I ever met that I can remember was Ernest Tubb, who's known as the Godfather of Country. I still have his autograph. He was Hank Sr.'s mentor. And I met him when I was 10 years old. So I've had all kinds of, clues. Very fun stuff.
Oh. What about superstitions? Many famous people, from athletes to musicians, are very superstitious. Have you ever looked down that path?
I have a little bit. Mainly like obvious things, like most country artists won't fly. And that's because of, Patsy Cline and people like that. So there are certain things, but, it's a lot of people, I didn't know there's certain things backstage, that you can't do. Never whistle backstage. That's why they say break a leg. You can't say, good luck backstage. That's bad luck if you say the words. So, and Hank used to have a lot of superstitions. Hank believed, never put a hat on the bed. Never throw a hat on the bed. Little things like that. And those are fun things. But a lot of people have that. Certain people stars have to travel with certain things. They have to have certain items with them when they perform, and so I think everybody always has that little bit of ooh, what if I do this? Maybe that'll be bad luck. So I think that's part of the creative process.
Is that the reason why somebody like Angus only uses 3 guitars while on tour and doesn't play new guitars?
Yeah, probably. I mean, those guys, that's what I love more about them, I think, than anything, is that they all had the same guitar, and they all plugged into a Marshall amp. There's no effects. There's no nothing except whatever comes out of that amp. And Angus, he had a couple of favorite SGs, the one that he uses, that he's used since the 60s. And, Malcolm used the same guitar, the same Gretsch, his entire career. And I used to tease them about the fact that, I'd go backstage and I'd say, I swear to God, those are the same jeans you were wearing back in the 70s. Do you guys ever buy new clothes? I mean, have you thought about it? So they're very, very straight-laced about that kind of stuff. Only certain things are done, and other things they don't bother with, especially effects.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
Straight up rock.
We've only got about 5 minutes left with you. Flown on by. We knew it would.
Oh, yeah.
And we have hammered a bunch of topics tonight. A plethora of topics. And when I sit here and I listen to you, I mean, the fire that's still in your voice for the music, the rock and roll, getting those stories out. This seems so important because these legendary bands, it doesn't matter if they were famous in the 60s, the 70s, and into the 80s. I mean, they're getting older. They're getting, they're starting to die off. The years of drug abuse has worn off on some people. They're getting to the point where they're not going to be touring anymore. I mean, unless you're the Rolling Stones and have a deal with the devil, right?
No, I love those guys. They just said just today, I saw an article that Mick says they're never going to retire, and they shouldn't. Did they ask Picasso to stop painting when he was in his 80s? No, they didn't. As long as they want to get up there, even if they have to sit in chairs, I'm going to go. It's it's too fun. Rock and roll keeps you young. It really does. Music does. Music is a wonderful, I can't imagine the world without it. I would not want to know a world without music.
I would hope not.
No.
I would hope not. You know?
Yeah,
it
gives it's healing, you know. It gives so much joy to people. That's, you know, what I love about it. And spreading this, you know, of the fans and people that want to talk about the bands or they want to hear the stories and stuff. That's like a dream come true for me. You know, like I never realized that I would ever meet anybody that I liked. You know, I loved bands. I always had posters on the walls. I went to all the concerts. I never dreamed in a million years I'd actually meet one of them. So it's been quite a ride. It really has.
I can see that. That. What story in rock and roll do you feel has not been told?
Ooh. Well, I guess I get a lot of flack. I read a lot of flack against the band AC/DC, that they went out real quick with a new singer, that they just kept moving, didn't really affect them in any way. And it definitely affected them severely to the point of, you know, Phil Rudd went off the deep end, had to leave the band. Malcolm almost drank himself to death. He had to quit drinking, and then yet later on in life that came back to him, his illnesses. And they paid a big price for that, and no one ever talks about that. And I know how much they loved Bon, because I hung out with them, and he was the life of the party. If Bon left the room, the party was done. That's the kind of way it was. They adored him. So the fact that people blow him off like, you know, yeah, they did this, and they went back, and they got a new album out, and it just kept going, they're still, like I said, to this day, we still talk about Bon. He's never not around. So that tragedy, they have never gotten proper respect for the pain they went through. So.
What about elsewhere in music?
So many. I think it's sad that Elvis went the way he did when he was, I didn't know this, I've read a lot of books on him. He was very spiritual, believed in the afterlife, and no one around him except one friend of his that wrote a book, no one believed in it but him. So he was very isolated that way. And it makes me sad because I think that he would not have been, you know, trying to check out through drugs if he would have connected more with the spiritual life that he believed in.
Right.
So that's sad.
Susan, I want to say thank you for coming on Spaced Out Radio again tonight. I have so much fun with you on the air, and you really are a beautiful storyteller. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Dave. Anytime. Like I said, this blew by. It was 7 or 8 minutes. And call me anytime. So I'm always ready.
Well, we got to thank Marty on Twitter for hooking us on up with a fantastic guest like yourself. And
Yay, Marty.
We really do appreciate. Yay, Marty, one of our favorite veterans who listens to this show, and we love our veterans around here, all of them that tune on in, and appreciate you, Susan, for dropping on by once again. You can find Susan's books on Amazon.com or on her website, SusanMasino.com. Make sure you check out the AC/DC book that she has, Let There Be Rock, because we should always rock. We should always get our horns up and have a good time. Coming up next on Spaced Out Radio, we have the SOR News Wire and the Thought of the Day. Stay tuned. More SOR right after this.
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thaw, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month, and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at mightymoosebeard.com today.
Hi there, this is the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall. I'd like to invite you to listen in each Sunday night, where we're going to open up your eyes to everything strange and paranormal. I will be hosting some great guests with topics that affect us all, such as UFOs, ghosts, and everything paranormal. Let's learn together on Spaced Out Radio Sunday with myself, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
Hey, Spaced Out Radio fans! It's John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. Our goal is to make the life of veterans, first responders, and those with rare medical conditions 10% happier. We do this by donating one grant item, ranging from dance to therapy programs to prosthetic limbs, to those who need it most. To contribute to Spaced Out Radio's official charity, head over to chivecharities.org and become a donor today.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
If you like it hot, real hot, then heat up your meals with Bumblefoot hot sauce.
Get your Bumblefoot hot sauce today. The sauce, Bumblicious, and the 4 million Scoville unit Bumble. We're going in hot, real hot, coming out even hotter.
Keep the milk nearby and tantalize your taste buds tonight.
Bumblefoot hot sauce, available now at kajans.com.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
We've rounded third. We're heading for home on Spaced Out Radio. I'm the dude behind the microphone, Dave Scott, talking all the weird, strange stuff to all of you each and every night. I kind of like what I do, so it's all good. Hey, I want to remind you that if you missed most of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Speaking of the news, the news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show, where we get to the weird, the strange, the wacky, and sometimes the distressful. A ship carrying more than 40 crew members and some 6,000 head of cattle has disappeared off the coast of Japan after capsizing in typhoon-lashed seas, according to a crew member who is so far known as the only survivor. The Gulf Livestock One, en route from New Zealand to China, issued a distress call early Wednesday from a position west of Japan's Amami Oshima Island. The Mayday call, to which the Japanese Coast Guard responded, was sent as Typhoon Maysak was tracking through the region as a powerful Category 4 storm. Maysak has since passed the area where the ship went missing, and the weather for the ongoing search is fine. Japanese Coast Guard regional spokesman Yuichiro Higashi said the 450-foot livestock carrier, built in 2002, had a crew of 43, of which 39 are from the Philippines, 2 from New Zealand, and 2 from Australia, the Japanese Coast Guard said. The Australian Broadcast Corp reported that the Queensland veterinarian Lucas Orta was among those on board. Photographs of the vessel taken before the accident show the deck is stacked high with open livestock containers. The lone crew member recovered so far, 45-year-old Chief Officer Sereno Eduardo from the Philippines, was plucked from the water Wednesday night after being spotted by a Japanese Navy P-3C surveillance aircraft. No wreckage from the ship has been found as of yet. Everardo told rescuers that the vessel lost an engine and then capsized when it was hit broadside by a wave. The crew was then ordered to don life jackets. Everardo said he abandoned ship but did not see any other crew members in the water after the ship sank. Gulf Livestock One was carrying 5,867 head of cattle from Napier, New Zealand to Jingtang in Tangshan, China, according to New Zealand's Foreign Ministry. Following the accident, New Zealand's Ministry of Parliament Industries, or Primary Industries, said it was temporarily suspending new cattle livestock export applications pending the investigation. That is absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. Let's hope they find more survivors. An Ohio woman became greatly concerned about the type of meat she purchased at the supermarket while making dinner for her family last week when she found out that she thought they might be human penis. You can't make this up. Lamia Singfield of Akron recorded herself on Facebook Live showing off her stewed beans and meat simmering on the stove. However, as she stirred her food, she discovered a phallic-looking cut of meat that didn't quite match the smoked turkey tails she had purchased at the grocery store. No, it is what I think it is, Singfield said after examining the strange meat. There's a hole at the tip, she says. I'm trying to be straight-faced here. Singfield did not immediately respond to media requests, but the woman shared she is planning to call the grocery store Save-A-Lot, where she had purchased the tails. She also checked her store receipt to ensure that she had purchased smoked turkey tails. However, when she looked at the package, it said smoked pork tails. As she captioned it on Facebook Live with, "I'm so confused," along with tagging several media outlets. Though Singfeld was unsure the food was a pork or turkey tail, but instead a nice piece of genitalia, possibly human. Could she be charged for cannibalism if she would have eaten it? Yeah, she phoned the police because the police need to get involved with this, right? Yeah, they came in, examined it, and in fact, a penis. Really? Hold on, this is getting real. Yeah, they're calling the medical examiner out here right now, the coroner, because somebody is missing their junk. Save-A-Lot has some explaining to do, she said. The woman said there were around 10 officers outside her home, and they have to treat her house like a crime scene in case the item is in fact human genitalia. However, after an investigator from the Summit County Medical Examiner's Office came in and looked at the rod, they concluded it was pork, likely a pigtail because it contained a bone. She had a bone to pick with Save-A-Lot here for a moment. Yeah, Singfeld reportedly hired an attorney to further look into the matter, unconvinced that it was a pork tail since it did not look like the meat in the other package. Further, she is concerned that the package was mislabeled in the first place since it was not turkey tails. I didn't even know that turkeys had tails, to be honest, which she believed she purchased according to the receipt. Yes. No, it wasn't a penis. Oh, my. Only one creature can be champion in the Battle of New York City vermin. One Twitter user shared a clip of a rat and a pigeon fighting this week. It's a close contender for peak New York City, aside from the one time a cockroach was caught carrying a cigarette in 2019. This might be the most New York stuff I've ever seen, down to the hit it out of nowhere LOL. In the 24-second clip, a rat and a pigeon are brawling on a sidewalk. The rat drags the pigeon as it attempts to fly away. Then a bystander out of nowhere hits the creatures with a scooter to break up the fight. Oh my gosh. Like we got a big brawl happening here between Ratatouille and the pigeon. Okay, they are going rock'em sock'em hockey here. Couple of wings to the chest, a couple of nibbles to the feet, because rats play dirty that way. And then they get smoked by a scooter. The rat scurried away into a parking lot. The pigeon walked the other way, bobbing its head, leaving both creatures seemingly unscathed after round one. What will the pay-per-view get the next time these two meet up? The bystander then shouts out, "You alive?" to the pigeon? You gotta be serious. You gotta be serious. Yeah. Yeah, apparently Twitter took off with this sidewalk battle royal. You saw how man smacked the rat and the rat shrugged it off and dipped? Yeah, New York City rats are built differently, one user commented. Another one wrote, so many layers to this. 1, New York rats don't give an F. 2, New Yorkers will stand up for others even if they are annoying, i.e. pigeons. 3, New Yorkers improvise and adapt. Weapons. 4, rat brushed off brutal hit like it was nothing. And 5, asking the pigeon if it was okay afterwards. This is brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. I want to see round 2. I am pumped for this one. Okay. A Brazilian doctor was bitten by a venomous snake after it fell down a waterfall that she was swimming beneath. Okay, if you don't go swimming in an area where poisonous snakes are, okay? They're flying off trees, they're flying off of waterfalls. Look, I'm all for saving the rainforest and everything, but if there's a snake there, like Science Bob a few weeks ago, found a snake in his pool. He's like, you going to come over swimming sometime when the border's open? You fly down at Bama here and go for a swim? I said, Bob, you need to blow up your pool. There was a snake in it. He goes, oh, it was just a baby, only like 4 feet long. 4 feet long? No, it's a snake. All right? Snake, they kill. Snakes are like cats. They don't give a care about anything but themselves. Anyways, so video footage of this incident shows Diane Sago standing under the waterfall at the popular tourist destination in Brazil when she was bitten. She could be heard screaming in pain and swimming away from the waterfall in the background of the video. Oh, beautiful scenery to get bit by a venomous snake. Yeah. Sago was swimming at the Serra Azul waterfall in the state of Sao Paulo when the snake was dragged by the current from the river above, and it landed on her, biting her twice on the arm. It was the highly venomous Bothrops jararaca. Did I even pronounce that right? Jararaca. Animal Diversity says that the Bothrops jararaca snake poses a risk to humans and that its toxins present in their venom can cause swelling and the swelling at the envenomation site. Really? The bite site. Envenomation. Somebody created that word for no reason. The bite site. Necrosis, blistering, hemorrhagic blebs. What the hell is a bleb? Systemic bleeding in the skin, gums, and nose, and subconjunctival hemorrhage. Now you can see why I never became a doctor, like my cousin. Collectively, these efforts can lead to death due to shock, renal failure, and intracranial hemorrhage, compounded by severe hypotension. A health team was called immediately, and the doctor was given an antidote before being taken to the hospital, where she is currently in ICU. Yeah, Sago's sister, she had 70% of her airways compromised and had to undergo surgery. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, her sister says, people who are concerned about my sister's situation, she is in the ICU, but she is in stable condition, thank God. Oh, wow. Terrible. The true size of the Gigantopithecus, no, not the Gigantopithecus, the gigantic prehistoric megalodon shark that ruled the oceans millions of years ago has been revealed for the first time, and it had teeth as big as hands and a fin as tall as a human adult. Yes, the University of Bristol researchers in South Wales used mathematical calculations to work out the size of the megalodon shark from rare fossil remains of its teeth. The findings were published in Thursday's journal Science Reports. Yeah, researchers say the giant shark species would have grown up to 59 feet in length, about 48 tons, which is larger than any shark known to have ever existed, and more than twice the size of a great white. They're still out there. Oh, they are still out there. With teeth as big as human hands, it would have a bite force of more than 10 tons, dwarfing that of a great white shark's bite force of 2 tons. Its tail would have been about 12.6 feet, and its fin would have stood at about 5 feet 3 inches, the height of a human adult. The team was able to estimate its size by comparing its teeth with that of modern shark species, which they said grow into adults in proportion, unlike humans who are born with shorter limbs and a larger head. This means they can estimate the shark's growth curve based on the modern species. Jack Cooper, who has just completed his Master's of Science in Paleobiology at the University of Bristol School of Earth Scientists, led the study. And he says the shark, which lived 23 million to about 3 million years ago, would have fed on small whales and pinnipeds, which are marine mammals that today include seals, walruses, and sea lions. And, yeah, there have been some fossils found with large serrated bite marks on them that would incriminate Megalodon as the attacker. Of course it does. This thing was a killer. That's all it knew how to do was kill. Probably still out there. The ocean's a big place. There's things out there. Oh, yeah. It's out there. All right, moving on. Hey, potheads in Israel. You got lucky. A drone dropped packets of what looked to be cannabis over Main Square in Tel Aviv after activists seeking to legalize the drug in Israel promised free weed from the air on social media. Police say they arrested 2 men who operated the quadcopter that flew over Rabin Square, a site that's often used for street protests and political rallies. The time has come, the Green Drone Pro legalization group said on its Telegram web messaging channel. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's a green drone sending you free devil's lettuce from the sky. In a statement, the police said the bags were filled with a dangerous drug. Dangerous. That hippie lettuce, and that officers managed to recover dozens of the packets. Photos distributed by the police showed what appeared to be cannabis inside. Oh my gosh. These people were playing with future doobies. Yes, Israel in May gave approval for exports of medical cannabis, paving the way for sales abroad that the government expects to produce hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. However, it is still largely illegal to use pot in Israel. And you know what? Finally, I love this story. Beer giant Anheuser-Busch announced it quickly sold out of its latest offering, a dog brew that contains no alcohol and is designed to be enjoyed by the man's best friend while you're sitting there having a beer of your own. The brewing company said dog brew is a bone broth made from pork, corn, celery, mint, turmeric, and ginger, ingredients designed to appeal to the taste and nutritional needs of dogs. Bone broth is a great way for dogs who struggle to eat solid food to get all of their extra nutrients. Your best friend is going to love it. We're positive, the company says, with those stupid puns again. The product, offered for online order, quickly sold out, but the company said interested customers are being put on a waiting list while more product is being produced. Oh, we're already sold out of the first batch of dog brew by Busch, but don't worry, dog lovers, we're in the process of brewing more nectar of the dogs. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Let's do this thing. I would so share a beer with my dog with this. I totally would. How cool is that, Anheuser-Busch? Thought of the Day happens every night at this time where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. Today's Thought of the Day is as follows. I was craving a burger today for lunch, so I figured, what's the best burger you've ever eaten? Marty, one of our favorite veterans, we love Marty and all the veterans who listen to this show. Thank you for your wonderful service to all of us. BJ's Brewhouse Barbecue Brisket Burger, half-pound burger with lettuce, tomato, red onion, cheese, and bacon, topped with pulled beef brisket in a tangy BBQ sauce. Wow. Oh, my mouth is watering just reading that. Derek, Reuben's Burger Bistro, Boulder, Colorado, closed now, sadly. Their pretzel buns were legendary. Dirty Filth in Edmonton. Aside from homemade, I have always liked Pa Peterson's burgers. Graham loves the Burger King Triple Whopper with cheese. K28, Burger I Am Veggie Burger. There is no such thing as a veggie burger, people. Don't get me on a tangent during the Thought of the Day. Okay? Vegans, I support what you do. I'm okay with what you do. Do what you need to do, okay, to keep the world a little less green. But stop nicknaming your food after food that you don't want to eat. It doesn't make sense. Veggie burgers, veggie ice or vegan ice cream, okay, vegan butter, vegan pizza. Get your own names. Be creative. Be creative. They're not veggie burgers. There's no such thing. No vegan burgers either. Nivik, homemade bison burger cooked on the grill. Oh, that sounds good. Peter, well, Dave, I'm a bit biased, but I would have to say it. My eatery, Pizza Burger, the Big Pete Greek Burger, 40 Creek Whiskey Burger, and all my favorites. Damn it, man. Give us an address. We broadcast outside of Toronto. Julie likes hers homemade, same as Ron, and Science Bob as well. Paul, Smokehouse Bacon Jalapeno Ranch Burger from Chili's. Thick cut bacon, jalapenos, and jalapeno ranch dressing. Unfortunately, a limited item. Bart, not the one sold by this thing. Here's a picture of me looking like Wendy. Yes. Our Islanders fan. It was a Mexican burger with jalapeno pepper jack cheese, guacamole, onions, diced cooked tomatoes, and a relish kind of sauce. It was crazy. Oh my gosh, that sounds fantastic. Fantastic. Shay, any GBR or my grandfather's matzo stuffed bear burgers? I had GBR today. It was fantastic. It was a bacon, mushroom, jalapeno jack cheeseburger, and it oozed with grease. Beautiful burger. With a poutine on the side. I went full Canadian. Annie, bacon cheeseburger from the Spar in Tacoma. I always liked Frisco Freeze in Tacoma. Annie, you pick up their burger, your hand is sopping wet in grease afterwards. That's a cheeseburger. Robin, local tavern he lives in, called Riverside. Great food, great burgers there called La Boomba. Half meat, every topping you want. Oh, that sounds wonderful. Barry, simple, the double chili burgers at Carney's on Sunset Boulevard in West Hollywood. Amy, I make a very good burger, so this is tough. Robert, mine at home. Barbie, Fuddruckers in Westport, Connecticut, humongous burgers. Heather, my homemade style turkey burger last night. Rosemary sourdough bread with arugula, avocado, great spicy mayo, red onion, grilled pineapple, and portobello mushrooms. You forgot one thing. No, you didn't. It looks good. Kevin gets the last word. Black and Blue Burger at Kimball's in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. There we go. Mark gets the next word, a free one. Free burgers are always good. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official burger of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns and your burgers up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, at work, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everybody participating in our chat rooms tonight and on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us, because together, my friends, we're watching. We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. The Woo Train has docked for the night. But tomorrow, my friends, we shall ride again. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And you know what? We got enough room for you to bring a friend or two as well. Good night.